Hi everyone, this is not the webinar yet. As a matter of fact, yesterday during the webinar, we forgot to push on the recording button, and therefore we missed recording the beginning of the webinar. Luckily, we have the remainder of the recording for you to enjoy. So please allow me to take this opportunity right now to introduce you to the event, so that you have a good understanding on the topics and speakers. So June 7th, Sophia and I were delighted to meet with you and talk about Thymio in unusual situations. The title of the webinar was Think Outside the Box, and we had the pleasure to host 3 wonderful speakers from Switzerland, Japan, and DR Congo. We started with Roland, who is co-head at CYBATHLON, a very famous competition taking place in 2024 and involving teams from all over the world, where Thymio is playing a major role in one of the disciplines. And then we moved to Japan with Jeremy, who is founder of BINGOBONGO Learning and whose school is using Thymio to teach foreign languages to very young kids. An innovative method proved to be progressive and efficient. At last, we enjoyed the presence of Donat, IT teacher at MALAIKA, who took full advantage of Thymio to teach robotics and programming to underprivileged girls in remote areas in DR Congo with no running water or electricity. Alright then, we will leave you now with the speakers. Enjoy this recording.
We're very happy to talk to you about the CYBATHLON competition and the role the Thymios take in our competition. So first to start, I would like to show you a short introduction video what CYBATHLON is for those who do not know CYBATHLON yet. I hope many of you know already, but just to give you an overview.
CYBATHLON is more than a competition. CYBATHLON is emotion and innovation. It moves people and technology. Numerous teams from all over the world compete against and with each other with one common vision: a world without barriers. Around 15% of the world's population lives with some form of disability and often face barriers in their daily life. And this despite of 175 countries which have committed to removing barriers, protecting people with disabilities against discrimination, and promoting their inclusion and equality in society by signing the UN Disability Rights Convention. Assistive technologies can help people with disability overcome some of the challenges in their daily life. But unfortunately, the acquisition and use of such technologies are still difficult for various reasons. Sometimes research projects do not sufficiently consider the needs of the people concerned. Due to political factors, high production costs and prices, many people can't even afford assistive technologies. The inclusion of people with disabilities in everyday life is often limited for those reasons. Awakened by these observations, Professor Robert Riener from ETH Zurich initiated the non-profit project CYBATHLON in 2013. He believed competitions would be the best way to drive the development of new assistive technologies and to raise public awareness of the challenges people with disabilities encounter. The idea was well received by scientists as well as people with disabilities, but also the great response of the media and the public encouraged Professor Robert Riener to develop his initiative further. Since then, many international competitions have been held. Broad attention is guaranteed when teams from all over the world present their many years of research and development in assistive technologies to a large audience on the CYBATHLON platform. The competition is unique for the audience and especially for the participating teams. Teams are motivated to continuously improve their technologies and to bring research forward, and thus push a sustainable improvement in the quality of life.
Oops, somehow the video dropped, but it's okay. I will continue. Sorry for that. I will continue with the presentation anyways. So you have seen a lot of pictures about the competition. So our goal is to push the development of assistive technologies for people with disabilities. And what we do is we ask the teams all over the world, from universities, from companies, to solve the tasks of daily life that we develop here at ETH Zurich. We write down the races and rules, a rules book, and ask the teams every 4 years to accept the challenges we develop and develop their technologies further. So we have 8 different disciplines that I will quickly introduce to you and show you what the Thymios, which role the Thymios play in this competition. So as you have seen in the video, we have an arm prosthesis race for people with above wrist amputations. Any kind of technology is allowed. You can use mechanic prosthesis, you can use a robotic prosthesis, and the goal is to solve the task inspired by tasks of daily life. And if you solve them correctly, you can score points. If you score 10 points in each of the 10 tasks, you have 100%, and you are very likely to win the competition. But you don't have to solve all the tasks, but you should be able to do as many as possible. For example, in the arm prosthesis race, we have this do-it-yourself task, as we call it. You have to use a hammer, you have to screw, you have to turn a light bulb into a lamp. So tasks of daily life. We have also a task where people with the arm prosthesis have to try to feel objects by grasping into a bag, feel the object, feel the shape of the object, and then pick the right object out of the box. So how can you in the future feel also objects? So this is the challenge for the next CYBATHLON in 2024 as well. We have a leg prosthesis race also with 10 different tasks. You see one task here, a pilot, as we call the people with disabilities participating, has to climb stairs. We have a task with wobbly steps, so you really have to control your prosthesis. We have pilots with above knee amputations. You also have to come up with a solution that is able to control your knee joint. So a very difficult task here. We have balancing tasks and many other tasks for the competition that the teams try to solve with their pilots. We also have a brain-computer interface race where people with tetraplegia participate. The goal here is to control an avatar in a game just with the power of your thoughts. So we use different brain activity measurement technologies are allowed. You can use such EEG technology here with surface electrodes. You can also use implanted electrodes even to read the thoughts of the participants. And then you have to control a game. The game is also inspired by tasks of daily life. You have to navigate with a wheelchair and avoid the obstacles. You have to be able to control a robotic arm and put a key into the keyhole, for example. And then you also have to move a cursor on a screen with the power of your thoughts and select the correct icon on the screen. So all tasks that are relevant for people with disabilities, with tetraplegia, that might in future be being able to control a device with the power of their thoughts. We have a functional electrical stimulation bike race for people with paraplegia. With the power of electrical current that you put on your legs, you are able to control the muscle contractions of the pilots. And if you do that in a good way, the people can induce a pedaling movement again and can pedal again, and with that compete in a biking race with functional electrical stimulation. And here we see the Thymios for the first time. They are covered with a red 3D printed cover. In the wheelchair race, we have pilots with severe walking disabilities that participate with their robotic wheelchairs. One task is to climb stairs, for example. We have winding stairs, so the pilot with the wheelchair has to overcome these winding stairs. A very challenging task. We did not have this task in the past. So far, we always had the very straight stairs where the pilot had to overcome in 2020 and 2016. Now winding stairs. We have rocky terrain. The wheelchairs have to overcome rocky terrain as you find in the nature or on different paths with the robotic wheelchair. And then we have the Thymio task, where we simulate kind of we call it crowd. It's not really a crowd. For Thymios, simulate 4 people that are going around the table, and the pilots need to avoid these Thymios, are not allowed to crash into the Thymios when you're in the restaurant or somewhere where you have to avoid moving objects. So this is also a new task for 2020, was not there in 2024, was not there in 2020 or 2016. Let's have a look at the CYBATHLON challenges on the road to 2023, where we had the Thymios already in the competition. So this is the winning team of the last CYBATHLON wheelchair races, very, very skilled. But other teams might have some more problems here. The Thymios have to work very robustly here because it's a competition. If the Thymios fail, it's a fail of us, of the competition management. This would be a problem in the competition. How to score then the task if the Thymios just go away from the track. So we have to really have reliable robots in the competition, because it's also live, a lot of audience, so only one try. So we choose the Thymios because they are really, really robust. We also use the Thymios in the powered exoskeleton race, where people with paraplegia walk in an exoskeleton. Also the Thymio task here. We have stairs task. We have even a free walking task now. The pilots have to walk without the crutches, very, very tricky for CYBATHLON 2024. And then we have the assistance robot race, very quickly, where people with tetraplegia participate together with the assistance robot to solve tasks of daily life, like eating, brushing the teeth, going through doors together, opening doors. And the Thymio task also here. And then maybe a very quick look at the test, what we did. I know I'm running out of time, but how we test the Thymios in our competition development. We figured out that the Thymios just leave the track when there is sun. So you see the first Thymio leaving the circle. We had to figure out, we were not sure in the beginning what was the problem, but now we know it's the sun, a reflection from the floor. So we solved the problem as well by covering it accordingly. Yes, so now to my last slide. So if you have any team from your university, from your country that wants to join the CYBATHLON in October 2024, team up, do a team in one of these disciplines, register your team, and would be happy to see you there as an audience, as a volunteer, with a team. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much to you, Roland. Thank you for this amazing presentation and this funny orbit Thymios that you use at CYBATHLON. Thank you. Now we are going to pass to Jeremy. Jeremy, are you ready?
I am ready. Thank you.
Great. So the floor is yours. I will pin you because I have this special task. Great.
Yes, thank you. Pin or spotlight would be great. Thank you. All right, so I'll go ahead and jump right in. I'm used to talking for hours and hours, so I'm going to keep this to 10 minutes. I'll keep it as short as I can. And I'm going to jump right into my slides, which are here. Okay, so thank you for the introduction. My name is Jeremy Lanig, and I have a small group of English schools here in Japan called Step by Step English. We produce our own resources now for EFL, English as a foreign language, but also a lot of our resources apply to ESL, and we have a kind of a fairly decent sized global audience. So our resources are produced under BingoBongo Learning, and recently we've branched out into EFL programming and STEAM resources under the brand of BB Bots. So BingoBongo Robots. Great. So my presentation is roughly titled Three Birds and a Thymio, how Thymio is saving the day in Japan, teaching English to very young children. Okay, so I'll start by showing you a map of Japan. I don't know if you've ever seen this map, but you can represent Japan by a bunch of blocks, somewhat like Legos, and here's Thymio. I'm actually located down here with a little bowl of noodles, and my area is famous for sanuki udon. So very delicious, thick wheat noodles, and I love them so much that I've made my own udon costume, and I've even got a Guinness World Record for eating udon noodles. So I really, really love living here in Japan, and I am out in the countryside. So down here, we're quite off the beaten path. But when I came to Japan 17 years ago, I had some impressions that I would like to share with you today. And those would happen to be, let me erase this here. Okay, so let's go to my next slide. Go. All right, my first impression was that contrary to what I initially thought, people in Japan don't really have a high level of English proficiency. Now, I'm sure in the cities, if you're in Tokyo and Osaka, it's a very international community and English is very important for daily life there. But as soon as you leave the big cities, the level drops off pretty rapidly to the point where it's difficult to communicate. But Japan has the third largest economy in the world. They spend a lot of time and money teaching English from elementary school and up. And so if you take a look at this, the English Proficiency Index rating, well, in 2011, Japan was 14th, not so bad. But it turns out there weren't many countries in the pool. So as you start adding more countries, Japan quickly dropped off to 80th. So I'm passionate about teaching English. And before I taught English, I was studying math in a PhD program and teaching math. So I just love teaching, but I love finding problems to solve. So for me, I think this is a big problem that I want to focus a lot of my time on. How can we improve English education in Japan? Now, there's one other impression that I had is that Japan isn't as high tech as I think everyone wants it to be. Maybe in the 80s and 90s, it was a leader in hardware and some technology. But as the world moved towards software, Japan didn't really keep up with the trends. And so it seems that it's not really where it should be in terms of software and programming. So to give you an example, when the pandemic started, 99% of the parents of our students could not even start a Zoom call or download apps. So we were in a lot of trouble. Okay, so two major problems, and I want to figure out how can I solve these problems? And this is where Thymio comes into play. Okay, so just really quickly, I would like to explain the traditional method of teaching English in Japan. One thing you will find a lot of is flashcards. So a teacher stands in front of a classroom and here's a picture of an apple. Repeat after me. Apple, apple, apple. And the kids are like, and it's not that exciting. And it's not really, there's no practical application. Like, what fruit do you like? You don't speak English talking about fruit every day. So I thought, okay, we need to figure out some ways to improve the methodology to begin with. So three methods that are quite, I think, effective and popular now are: one, problem-based learning. So give a child a problem and ask them to solve it, and have English be the tool used to solve this. So problem-based learning is a big part of BingoBongo Learning's themes or the resources. Next, object-based learning. So rather than holding up a flashcard of an apple, bring an apple and show them a physical apple. And by having that physical apple, they use more, just more brain capacity and understanding what it is, how it feels, how it smells, versus a piece of paper with a picture. And then finally, content and language integrated learning, also known as CLIL. This is a big topic right now. And instead of just teaching English, let's teach various things in English. Let's use English to teach it, and then we can focus on the topic. And I think English is easier to process and use because I'm trying to use it to reach another goal here. Okay, so how does Thymio come into play? Well, imagine if you have three birds and one Thymio, you can just hit boom, 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 3 birds with 1 Thymio. So I think Thymio is a great tool for problem-based learning, object-based learning, and content and language integrated learning. So at my English school, we've decided to create this English programming, EFL programming, but it's really, initially, it's not about the programming, it's about the English. We're teaching the English that eventually the students can use to move on to programming. So here we are with the object. The kids, as soon as you show them a Thymio, they get so excited that, you know, anything you ask them to do, their motivation levels skyrocket. So this is really fun. Problem-based learning. So this is my daughter, Rose, and she's 3 years old now. And we set up a little flag on a little Thymio stand here. And the goal is to capture the flag. And this wasn't actually part of a lesson. It was just a warm-up activity. But here's the problem-solving skills coming into play. And we can use any means possible to solve the problem and catch the flag. All right. So then finally, we have content and language integrated learning. So here's where we would take a lesson. And for example, this lesson is about my town. So the students come in and they have a big grid of 12 by 12 squares. Thymio is about 11 by 11, so it fits in one grid. And they can draw the places in their town. They can talk about the police station, the library, the museums, the places that we would normally study in an English class. And then they can use Thymio to say, okay, I want to go to the park. Okay, go forward, turn left at the intersection and blah, blah, blah. So we have a really nice system now for teaching a lot of different things in a really sort of compact style lesson. So just to give you an idea of what one lesson might look like, we call our lessons Mind Mission. And so this would be the downtown robot. And each mission has a card where they look at it and go, okay, well, we have to understand how to give directions and move around in town and talk about our towns. And we have the really simple, just use Thymio's purple mode or use Thymio's light blue mode, follow the black path. Or if we want to get more advanced, we can go into VPL or Scratch. And then finally, we have these sort of architects. You can build something, build a taxi or build a fire engine that moves around the town. After that, we have a series of worksheets that the students can use then to study just the English side of things. We can do that in class. They can do that at home, watching a video through flipped learning. And so far, it's just been fantastic. So I'll wrap it up pretty soon. That I would like to say this approach is really possible because compared to any other robot on the market, Thymio is so simple that you can take it out. Even our youngest son, he's 0. He's like 8 months. He chases Thymio around the house. He loves it. And you can practice, teaching colors to 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds. We have so many things we can do, but it can scale. So we can then branch into VPL. We can branch into other languages. We can teach robotics. We can teach all kinds of engineering concepts. So it's really fantastic. And so just to show you how I've gone about making it even easier for young like 3-year-olds to make it, something they can understand and use, we've created a couple original accessories. The colorful attachments here, these are called the link vest. And this attaches to the top, and we put a bolt in through the pen hole. We also have a 5-device remote. So if I'm using the pink robot, I can just push the pink button and only control the pink robot. So we don't have to worry about any screens or any programming coding when we're first starting out. Then we can work our way into that. All right. So then do I have, Ronnie, do I have any more time? Am I out of time?
You can go 1 or 2 additional minutes if you wish, yeah?
All right. I think we got to show some pictures if we're gonna we're gonna show the link vest here. So just to show you some of the things we've been doing, here is the link vest with Rose. So the link vest allows us to really easily integrate Thymio with different sort of Lego accessories. We can go in and we can connect 2 robots very quickly. And so here would be me putting a slewing ring between 2 robots. So we have now the robot on the bottom is giving us our mobility, and the top is giving us our rotational movement. And these projects, again, we're trying to make them as simple as possible so they can be set up in minutes. We can turn Thymio into a speedy little car that is, maybe 2 or 3 times faster just by using the principles of the gears. And then, yeah, there's just so much we can do. So we made like a nice marble escalator here. So using a few different concepts, but ultimately it's very simple and it's fun for kids. So that will make us have a much more successful, I think, program overall. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone. And I can just tell you that no birds were harmed in the making of this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Thank you for the jokes. Thank you for this amazing presentation and the motivation that you bring to small kids. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. And we are going to pass to Donat. Donat, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let me just share my screen.
Yes.
Sorry. Yep. So I think that everybody can see it without any problem.
Now we can see your first slide. It's not in it's in small pas en mode présentation, just the info. We can see all the slides. Yes.
Now it's here.
Now it's on presentation mode. Perfect.
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you everybody to join this webinar. And thank you for all the speakers. I will just try to give a testimony. It's just a simple testimony and our experience. I just want to share with everybody about the Thymio robot here at MALAIKA. So my name is Donat Tisoka. That's my name. I'm an IT teacher at MALAIKA. An organization joined in 2016. At the time I was a student at university, and I tried to work with the MALAIKA at the same moment, at the same time. I straight speak about MALAIKA. So MALAIKA is we are focused in Democratic Republic of Congo, the second largest country in Africa. And especially we are in Lubumbashi district, in Kalebuka village, a small village in which we don't have water, electricity, even education is a special thing for students or for girls, or also for parents. And after having noticed that, so MALAIKA has a mission, and the mission is to empower girls and their communities through education and health programs. And for that, to achieve this mission, so we make an ecosystem. And for this ecosystem, we have a community center which help the community members to be learning most jobs like sewing, for example. We also have technical classes for mechanical and electricity skills. We have a school which is giving education to more than 400 girls, and it's free of charge. We build 30 wells to give water to the community members. In short, this is what we do with MALAIKA. This is what MALAIKA is offering to Kalebuka communities or to Kalebuka village. And so I go straight to our programming and robotic skills or project that we had at MALAIKA. It started in 2017. I was thinking about giving programming and robotic skills to students. And it was a big challenge for us because in Congo, most of people think that programming, robotics, are not things which can be taught to kids or to students. only at university sort of things can be taught. And it was a big challenge for us. We said, okay, let us just see how we can start and which tools can we use to start with girls. What can I say? Fortunately for us, in August of 2019, we were happy to receive at MALAIKA somebody, a big woman who was coming from Switzerland, Marjorie. She was working with Art Computer. We share with her about it, and she brought us Thymio robot. And at the time, she brought us just three Thymio robots at the time. And we had something of 3 or 4 days of training, as you can see. And we especially did pre-programming activities with the Thymio robot. And you can see the first picture, it was the first day I had with her about it. And here girls just try to use it without any skills, first of all, or without any IT classes with them. They had their first experience with the Thymio robot themselves to discover how it works. After a moment, we make a progress. And the progress was that we make a step from pre-programming activities to our own programming activities. And for that, girls passed a moment of learning how to program the Thymio with VPN, especially because it's an accessible interface and easy for girls to master the basic skills of programming, especially if statements, loops, and so on. And we also profit to help girls to see the inside of the robot. As you can see in the second picture, we open it and we try to see the electronic component inside. And they discovered that a robot is not a special thing as we thought. It's just something so easy to understand and to program it without any problem. And after more sessions with girls, so we make some observations. Thymio observed that our students, after working with Thymio, they are confident with programming and robotics, which was our goal or our aim. And also, they prefer programming with the robot to see how clearly the results. And some of them are really inspired and think to be a computer program developer. It means that they couldn't think in their life one day talking about programming. And through the Thymio robot, they now have an opportunity to think about being computer program developers and also work with robots in their life and see how they can try to change their communities. And to finish, I can just try to share with you a small video to see how girls enjoyed working with the Thymio in the classroom. Yes, and okay, in conclusion, for us, Thymio, it's very easy to practice and master. It's very easy way to practice and master the basic structures of programming, loops, statements, and also some basic concepts of robotics. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donat, for your presentation. It's amazing what you are doing at MALAIKA, this ONG, how you are teaching how to program, how use robots to these girls. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Donat. Ronnie, now we are going to pass to the questions.
Sure. So I was checking on the chat so far. I don't know, for some reasons, the community is a bit shy. So I would like to encourage you, please, to ask more questions. We started with Thomas a bit earlier. He got partially an answer in regard to the presentation about CYBATHLON when Roland actually was talking about some difficulties that Thymio was having and with the sunlight. So do you have any other like failures or difficulties that Thymio is having during the preparation for CYBATHLON 2024?
No, this was the major finding we had, that it's the reflection from the floor distracted them from the path, but we had to figure it out. First, we were just looking, why did it work yesterday and not today? Yesterday it was not sunny and today it was sunny, so then we figured out. But other than that, we are optimizing it, and it's very convenient to program also the speed and the deceleration, so they are getting slower and slower. So that's fine. At the moment, we are still doing some more tests about the robustness, that they don't leave the tracks. Sometimes they still leave the track, but very rarely. And we try to figure out how we can make this even more reliable. But we are not at 100% yet, but close.
And in total, how many teams would be using this? I mean, this specific activity with Thymio?
Yeah, so we have the Thymios in 4 disciplines, I think, and we have each discipline has 20 teams. So 20 times 4, 80 teams. Maybe some other teams that train with it are ready to order the Thymios for training and use it also in the competition. We have also a hub system, so a team from Japan can participate from Japan without traveling to Zurich, so they can set up the track there. So we have really an international setup, and all need the Thymios to participate, and this is very convenient.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Roland. We start with a question, a partial question to Donat, and I think one of his colleague or a friend was asking if it was Donat or Mbappe. So
I'm sorry, that's the same thing which often happen with my students at school. They often call me Mbappe. I don't know why.
Okay, well, I think we know why, Donat. Okay, Donat, we have a question, like same question for you. What are the major difficulties or challenges you're having, for example, with the robot? Because you're mentioning about lack of water, lack of electricity. Are you also, for example, also compensating by having some offline activities or unplugged activities? I mean, how are you being able to juggle into all this?
What I can say is that, especially as I said, Kalimuka, we don't have electricity, but the solution which MALAIKA took is to have a solar electricity. We use the solar panels to have electricity here at MALAIKA, so that we can try to charge the robot and to use it all the time that we need. And apart from that, for the first time, it was also a bit difficult for girls to understand or to be trained about it. Because first of all, they thought that a robot is somebody, he has a form of a person who can walk, speak, and do whatever. You see, and when you tell them, you show them that this is a robot, they couldn't accept, they couldn't be right with you, they couldn't trust that this is a robot. And with the time, when explaining them how a robot can work, if you show them something, you tell them this is a robot, they are going to ask you a question. What are the entries? How does it work? And what will be the out? Because they now have ideas about the basics words or the basics concept of robot. They are going to ask you a question, what is the sensors? What is the processor? What is the actuator? And this was the first difficulty that we made while working with girls at school for the first time.
And those girls, so as you mentioned, many of those girls actually they've been already like burst with Thymio for around 3 years, right?
Of course, yes, but for the moment, especially girls of primary school. When they are at primary school, they have time to learn something about it. But at secondary school, we're thinking about artificial intelligence. And by chance now, I think we are going to have something called 5 minutes, which will be given for that. It's also an opportunity for us to have a session girls about artificial intelligence with Thymio at school. I think before we end the year, we can have something like that.
Okay, so did you start already experiencing ThymioAI, you mean?
For the moment, not yet, because we are in exams period. We just wait for this period finished. And after that, we can try to make some experience with girls about it.
All right. Thank you so much, Donat.
Thank you.
Jeremy, I have a question from, am I pronouncing the name properly? Frieder? Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure. Is it correct? Is it the right spelling? So the question, I think it goes to Jeremy. Yeah, Frieder. Okay. Thank you. How can we compare results between the human teacher and the robotic teacher?
That's a great question. I think we're going to see a lot more applications of AI and robot teachers in the EFL and ESL world. But really, I think the most important thing that robots can't really replace is the empathy between the teacher and the student. Just that human connection, the empathy. I don't know, there's something that no matter how smart AI gets, that is one thing that I think will always be lacking. And you can see, even in Japan, a lot of the elementary schools have tried to implement these robots, and they speak and they repeat after me. They're trying to model this rote learning method that I don't think is really effective to begin with. And then on top of that, the kids are like, oh, this is interesting for like a minute. And then after that, they kind of lose interest because it's not something they're making a mental or personal connection with. It's just to them a toy. And that's where I think as a teacher, I want to just harness that interest in the robot, but still keep the human connection with the teacher, a human teacher, and the student. So yeah, I'm very skeptical that robots and AI will ever be able to truly replace education, especially with young learners. But anything's possible.
Okay. Good answer. And I guess also, like in Japan, maybe parents are likely to accept maybe a bit more technologies than in other areas, like maybe than in Europe. So it is more likely to have parents, accepting these robots starting from a very young age, right? And do you have, for example, any reluctancy from parents currently who are, asking questions about the utilization of Thymios in classes, knowing that you are really addressing solution to 3 and 4 years of age?
I don't think the parents really know what's going on with the technology side of things. Yeah, I want the parents to come in and learn with the students during some of the classes. Look what we can do with the robots. But no, to your greater point, Japan is the 3rd largest economy in the world. Technology, people want to have it, they want to use it. A lot of the junior high schools and elementary schools now all have touch screen whiteboards, the big digital whiteboards. A lot of students have their own tablets, their own laptop computers. This is all kind of a recent development, I would say, in the last 2 years. So they're trying to catch up. They're trying to implement technology. So nobody is really reluctant or opposed to it. I just don't know that it's being used in the most efficient way. I know a lot of English teachers want to just play games on screens. And even when a lot of teachers say, okay, I'm going to teach program just using Scratch, let's make a game, it's really screen-based. And that's the beauty of object-based learning. Having a physical thing to interact with, it sort of gets the eyes off the screen, occasionally, which I personally, think is a good thing. But no, it's Japan is definitely a society that I think will be able to, go full steam ahead with Thymio, with technology.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Do we have other questions? I don't see any on the chat. Maybe one or two more questions from the community.
You
If
can
not,
also open your micro if you wish to ask directly to the speakers the question. Don't hesitate, they are here for you. So if you want to open your micro and ask directly the questions, you can. Should I pass to the announcements or waiting to someone?
Yeah, maybe we can move on.
That's perfect. Do you see my screen now? I am sharing, right? So I have some announcements for you. The first one is a graphic novel on artificial intelligence that it's in Spanish, it's in English, and it's French, and it's free. It has 4 chapters with 4 different topics. So don't hesitate to go and see what it's look like, okay? I will share after on the chat all the links that I am sharing now. After we have also Code Week that they make a nice Star Wars games to learn how to code. It's very nice with the music and how you can play with it. So don't hesitate to go and see what's done. Science on Stage from Europe, they create this booklet with some coding exercise in STEAM education. You can use physics, maths, biology, computer science for primary and secondary schools. You can download the material. It's also in English, German, French, Italian, and that's it. Another interesting material that we have found is these lessons of artificial intelligence too. So here you have all the documents, units that you can download. They are free resources. Here you just need to make an account, a free account, and you have access to all these documents. And let me just see if I have said everything. Yes, I just need to remind you that the next webinar will be on French, but you are more than welcome. It's on the 4th of October. So please save the date. On the 4th of October, you are more than welcome to come to the next webinar. Of course, we have the summer break. So it's why from here until October, we don't have something, but you are more than welcome. And we hope that you can come. I will just put on the chat the link so everybody has all the material. And Ronnie, I know that you want to share something, so I give you now the floor to share your IE resources.
Okay. Thank you. Do you see my screen?
Yes, but it's not in diaporama yet.
Yeah. And do you see it now? It should appear.
Yes, perfect. It's working. Great.
Okay, so again, thank you, Sophia, for this. So maybe before moving to ThymioAI, and again, like some of you were asking a few questions, knowing that we mainly communicated in French, just also maybe one or two announcements from our side. So we, as Mobsya and Thymio, we are going to participate early next month, 6th and 7th of July. If you are in the region of Geneva, please come and visit us as we are participating into the AI Summit organized by the United Nations in Geneva. And we are present there for 2 days, so 6th and 7th of July. We'll be very happy to see you and present to you ThymioAI, why not? We are also running a series of webinars, but directly on specific topics to a specific segment of our community. For example, later on this month, we are having 2 sessions dedicated for Belgium and for the Belgium digital project called Digital Wallonie. So we are arranging actually specific sessions for teachers and for their trainers, so that they are really aware of Thymio and the way it can be deployed in the premises in the schools over there. So if you have any request, any idea, or any project, please reach out to us. I'll be very happy to accommodate it for you. All right. Now, let me move to Thymio. So as you know, earlier this year, we launched a new solution based, just to be clear, based on the existing lovely Thymio, called the ThymioAI. So ThymioAI emanates from a strong collaboration between Mobsya, our association, and Learning Robots, a French startup. So the idea was to bring the advantages of those two tech companies and association and help Thymio getting reinforced or re-engineered or supercharged by artificial intelligence. So basically, with the existing programming, existing basic behavior, and existing resources, we were able, thanks to Alpha-E software, so the software developed by Learning Robots, to integrate this software into Thymio and help kids, teachers, to basically execute tasks without programming, without coding, simply by using artificial intelligence. In a nutshell, how does it work? So basically, this is what you can see here. I think you can see like a small screen on ThymioAI on the interface of Alpha-E. And on this interface, you are going to see Thymio on one side with its sensors. And on the other side, you are going to see the actuators or the actions that Thymio is supposed to do. All right. And in the middle, you have what we call the neural zone or the neural layer that is helping to connect the dots between the sensors and the series of actions. So with this solution, we are going to be able to basically train Thymio based on what we call, those are like basic principles of machine learning that are the supervised and reinforced learning. We are going to train Thymio to produce a sequence of tasks and then replicate it based on different environments by itself. So we will be able basically to activate a specific set of actions based on what Thymio is able to see with the sensors. For instance, move forward if the front sensor is active, move backward if the front sensor is active, and so on. And following that, we are going to apply in autonomous modes, and then Thymio is going to interact with its environment by itself without coding, just with the use of artificial intelligence. To make it easy for teachers and for the students, we came up with a series of resources. So basically, we created the equivalence of 6 hours of interaction, full immersion in class, creating specific sets for teachers and for the students to learn those two principles, again, supervised learning and learning by reinforcement, through 5 different activities called here first learning, the arena, keep the track, don't stay here, and the autonomous car, where basically the teachers, again, are going to be able to prepare for the class with their own materials and help the kids reproduce scenarios based on specific materials developed for them. All right. And those are already available. So you are free to download from our websites. I'll be very happy to follow up like with the thank you email following this webinar and send you the link. And those are already existing in different languages. So you have them in Polish, in French, in German, in English, and soon in Chinese. And I'm looking at Japan, maybe very soon also in Japanese. Yeah, feel free to reach out and test them. I think it's going to be a game changer in your class or in your in-class experience, knowing that you'll be able to reproduce scenarios that might have taken you, let's say, half an hour or an hour to code with a simple gesture of hands and detection of sensors. Now, to translate what I was saying, I would like to share with you a small video, just a 3-minute video. I was tempted to make it live, but you see, I don't have enough screens. Just 3 hours ago, I recorded a sequence. I would like to share it with you based on Don't Stay There. Don't Stay There is going to show you how Thymio can be your vacuum free of charge. So, and and it's really going to be straightforward. So maybe if you have questions later on, I'll be happy to answer as well. So let me shoot it. Again, I did it like 3 hours ago, so I apologize for the maybe so-so presentation. In this case, I'm going to use Joel's booklet, and you will see it's really straightforward. I'm going to give Thymio instructions, or a set of instructions, so that he's able to self-drive at a later stage. As you can see here on the left side, for the moment I have any movement based on the front sensors with Thymio, but Thymio of course is detecting the some movement like on the ground sensors, and if I move it toward the black line, you will see that the sensors won't be able to detect anything anymore. So let's put it back in the center. I will start here the learning phase, so I'm going to activate the learning. If Thymio doesn't detect any movements, I will tell him to move forward. Again, forward, and let's do it 3 times. Then I will tell him that if you detect a movement in the front, as you can see, the front sensors now is activated, so move forward again. One more time. Now, last situation, I will tell him that if you detect no movement with the button sensor and at the same time movement in the front, I would like you to rotate to the left or right, and that's it. Now I'm going to stop the learning, put Thymio in back to the circle, and put also Robin back in the circle anywhere I want, and I'm going simply to activate the self-drive mode, so the autonomous mode, and we will see how Thymio is going to interact based on the instructions I gave him in this supervised learning. Let's start. Well done, Thymio. Okay, mission accomplished. So, did you see the actors? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can, Ronnie. We can.
Yeah. So I had to speed up. Basically, it took me 5 minutes, to 6 minutes to educate Thymio. So I had to click on the learning button and then give Thymio a series of instructions. I can tell you that if I want to do the same thing on Scratch, or let's say on any other programming language, it was going to take me like hours and hours to do it. Then with AI, by simply again like manipulating with these different obstacles, I was able to run the show in just 5 minutes. You can imagine the multi facets of applications we are in a position to do in classes with the teachers. So we really welcome you to try and test. It's really fun. Again, with the use of existing activities to make this onboarding simple to approach. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. All right. I feel I feel the crowd is a bit again shy. You know, in those French events, we have a lot more questions popping in.
But that's okay. In any case, it was awesome. I really want to say thank you to Roland, to Jeremy, to Donat, and to you, Ronnie, because this video was amazing. Thank you for the preparation, the time that you take. This community can be alive thanks to you, because we have awesome speakers. So we are more than happy to have you. And we also want to thank the audience that is here, because you make the community bigger, growing and growing. So thank you so much to everybody. And if you don't have questions, Swiss time, well, we passed 4 minutes, but that's okay. You know, I will stop the recording now.